I was extremely honored when devotees at the BBT in Europe asked if I could give some basic words of encouragement in relationship to Srila Prabhupada's books. Because as we know, Prabhupada's books are the nucleus, they're the artery of our society. In scripture, we have what is called the Paribhasa Sutra. That is the verse that helps us to understand, the entire text. The seed is like the seed that all other things of a particular text are to complement and to be in accord with. So if we think about it, in terms of our institution, Prabhupada's books are the paribhasa for our institution, that our whole lives are to be so much centered around his books. I'm in an unusual situation now. Of course, I'm handicapped, terminally ill with cancer, at least according to what the doctors are saying. I have 1.5 leg. My leg has been amputated, and I've lost almost 40 pounds. And I'm just hoping most of that weight that's been lost is false ego. That's going away. And anyway, on a more serious note, by modern technology, I'm having a chance to be with you. It was so much my desire, and Krishna is fulfilling that, even for a few minutes, just to be able to share some points here. Bhavananda and a few other devotees report how Srila Prabhupada had mentioned that he really didn't want to come here. And obviously, who of a higher nature would want to come to this horrible place, of Marcha Loka, of so much degradation and lust and greed. But Prabhupada said how Krishna had encouraged him. You go and you write books, and I will help you. So it seems very significant that we constantly keep in mind that Prabhupada coming to this world was so much in connection with his commission in providing transcendental literatures. It seems so important that we remind ourselves how Prabhupada was up in the middle of the night and how he struggled so much to see that these books would be able to be available for the world, and how he read his own books. So if he read his own books, how much more important it is for us to read them in a scrutinizing way, as he was such a puppet for the previous acharyas. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita it explains how such great pure devotees, when they're writing, it's in the spirit of sitting down, and Krishna is actually speaking through them. Practically, the majority of us, we came to this movement due to having contact with one of Prabhupada's books. And if we came another way, we became situated and convinced to remain in the society after reading Srila Prabhupada's books. And so many of ourselves as leaders, if you think about it, we're leaders because we're involved in printing the books, distributing the books, selling the books. And in many cases from the past, and for some of us, or some of you, we're still expertly doing that now. Printing Prabhupada's books in so many different languages. I was reading all kinds of literatures and took initiation from all kinds of gurus. And then I read the Sri Ishapanishad, and I was finished. Because from reading that, it gave more clarity than all of the books that I had read. And it helped to clarify karma and moksha and artha and dharma, and most important, it helped me to understand what in fact was Sanatana Dharma that was missing in the other books I read and the other teachers that I'd taken shelter of. Let me just try to conclude 1 or 2 short points. Just as Prabhupada came into this world to make books available to us, we see that in his last days, and even practically last hours, how much he was trying to make sure that the transcendental message was received. How he died on the battlefield. So from Prabhupada's entering into this universe and his departure, we see the importance of his books. So we want to go out of our way, constantly go the extra mile to honor Srila Prabhupada. And how do we do it? We read the books, we distribute the books, we print the books, we worship the books. But most important is that, as Prabhupada said himself about Gita Nagari prophecy in relationship to Gandhi, that the best way to honor a person is not by monuments, not by horrific kind of glorifications, but by creating a community that represents the ideas that that person stood for. So let us work like hell and trying to see more how we can create communities that will represent the ideas that Prabhupada has given us in his books. We don't want to abuse the books by beating each other over the head with things taken out of the books. Sometimes we take things out of context, or we use the philosophy just to beat someone and to try to force them in some way based on our ulterior motives. But we want to worship the books by creating a community that represents what Prabhupada wrote in his books. That means by going deeper and appreciating the essence of the books, living it, and then we can share it as a wonderful, powerful international community. Hare Krishna, thank you for allowing me to be with you. And I'm excited, hoping that we'll all be able to be together more, especially as we keep this Paribhasa forefront, as Prabhupada's books, as the artery, as a major seed for our existence. Hare Krishna.